this is the inner side of the chassis rail. That's the new piece of chassis rail in there, and I've got to pay a little bit of attention just to where the front cross member is going to be sitting in. Got a few holes there, and also this bottom lip is a bit worse for wear, so you can see my mark. I'm going to actually cut them holes out and just cut a small section so I can replace this lip at the bottom there and get it tight with the other chassis rail piece that's gone in. Let's get cutting that out. Got the inner chassis repair fitted in there now, and after I've welded that in, I'll just angle this corner edge the same as that and grind this edge back so it's flush with the bottom repair piece. That's all welded up now, but I've got to do a little bit more grinding on there, and I've got to wait for a part for my power file to come in. Been grinding that back using the Dremel, but I want to get a little bit smoother, and encountering another problem now with the cross member. Too long. So it looks like my bus has got a bit of a birth defect. When I phoned the supplier, they've only known this to happen a few times before. For some strange reason, between the years 70 and 71, there's a batch of buses out there that got a shorter cross member at the front. They've never had one of these buses in the workshop to take a copy of the panel, so the only thing I can go and do is to shorten the one that I've got. Just started to measure and cut one side of the front cross member, and where I need to flare it back out, it's got this hole there. It's got a tendency of contorting out of shape. So I'm just going to cut myself wooden block, get it to where it wants to be, and I'll be able to hammer this angle back down. I must admit, it's been a bit of a ball ache trying to flare them edges on this particular panel. Don't know why, but I've got the actual width of it now, and the handbrake cables are now fouling on now, and that's the loom which will go into this hole there, and I need to trim a little bit off of this side for the conduits as well. So let's have a look from the other side. Yeah, see, I've got to trim a little bit off of that side, a little bit there, and the conduit. What I've also just noticed on this panel as well is that it's actually missing a hole for the hard brake line to pass through with a conduit. The rear cross member's got its hole there, but this particular piece hasn't. Another trial fit for the front cross member panel. Looks like I've got the width where I want it now, or near enough, but the panel itself looks a little bit too high. It's actually got to sit underneath this top hat section, so every tab looks like it's got to be adjusted in some way. I'm also going to take a little bit more out of these recesses for the conduits because they're sitting quite tight there. Just show you this cross member, front cross member section for a second. This is what I'm going to have to do. I've got to shorten every single one of these tabs because they're too long or too high. They're measuring in at 10.2 centimeters when I need 9.7 to fit underneath the top hat. So I've just done the first one there. Just having to do it in the vise. See how much shorter it is, see? So every single one's got to be done. Just on the last one now, I've got one more centre section piece to bend over. But I've also realised I'm now going to have to cut these out even more, the tubes. Nearly there with the mock-up of the front crossmember now. Got everything cut to its shape. And what I had to do was undo the wiring loom clips from the rear and the front of the vehicle, just so I can get a little bit more sag on the cable, and I'll put it through that hole at a later date, but I just wanted to mock this front cross member up. So I've got to make some cuts off of the tabs while it's out of the vehicle again. I think I'll do a little bit more painting underneath the top of the top hat and the cargo floor, the bits that I won't be able to get later on. And I've also encountered the same problem that I had on the other side with the jacking point where it meets the top hat. The top hat section is still a shade too long, so it's 4mm long again, so I've got to cut that and reflange that section. And that's pretty much it for now, but I'll mock everything up again once I've done a little bit more cutting. And I'll be able to bash these flange sections back to the chassis rails when it comes to welding it in, get a bit more straighter. This is the heater tube that I took off the front of the bus, and it then continues to pass on through the front cross member. So I just ground all the rust off, give it a little coat of rust converter, and there's a few holes that I'll have to visit and weld up, but I thought I'd give it a chance to kill the rust, and then obviously that'll get painted once it's welded up.